What if one simple drink you could make in your kitchen each morning had the power to help your arteries stay flexible, support healthy blood pressure, and even reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes? It sounds almost too simple. But before we talk about the drink itself, we need to understand something that most people are never told when they visit the doctor. Because when it comes to heart disease, the real problem usually begins long before cholesterol numbers show up on a lab report. The real story begins inside the artery wall. And once you understand what happens there, everything about heart health suddenly makes much more sense. So today, we're going to walk through the hidden chain reaction that leads to clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and heart attacks. And then we'll talk about one powerful drink that can help your body fight back. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why the real solution isn't just lowering cholesterol, it's protecting the inside lining of your arteries. The hidden trigger. Behind most heart problems. Inside every artery in your body is a thin, delicate layer of cells called the endothelium. Think of it as a protective inner coating that keeps blood flowing smoothly. When this layer is healthy, your arteries stay flexible, relaxed, and able to expand when your body needs more oxygen. But when this layer becomes damaged, a cascade of problems begins. Inflammation starts to develop. Your body senses the injury and tries to repair it. And the repair material your body uses is what we call plaque. Plaque is made from cholesterol, calcium, and proteins. But here's something important that most people misunderstand. Plaque isn't the original problem. It's actually the body's attempt to fix damage that already occurred. It's like putting a patch over a crack in the wall. The crack came first. The patch came later. And one of the biggest reasons this damage happens is because of something called nitric oxide. Why nitric oxide is so important? Nitric oxide is one of the most important molecules in your cardiovascular system. It acts like a natural signal that tells your arteries to relax and widen. When nitric oxide levels are high, blood vessels expand, circulation improves, and blood pressure stays stable. But when nitric oxide levels fall, the arteries lose their flexibility. They become stiff. Blood pressure begins to rise. Blood flow becomes restricted. And the risk of clot formation increases dramatically. This is why endothelial damage is such a big deal. When the endothelial layer is injured, nitric oxide production drops. That one change alone can trigger multiple problems at the same time. Higher blood pressure, increased inflammation, stiff arteries, higher clot risk. And here's something even more surprising. Nearly 90% of heart attacks are caused by clots, not just plaque buildup. So protecting that inner lining of the artery is absolutely critical. The natural ways. Your body makes nitric oxide. The good news is that your body has several powerful ways to increase nitric oxide naturally. Sunlight is one of them. When your skin is exposed to sunlight, vitamin D production increases. Sunlight also provides infrared radiation, which has been shown to stimulate nitric oxide release in blood vessels. Even something as simple as breathing through your nose instead of your mouth can increase nitric oxide levels. Magnesium also plays a major role. Magnesium helps relax blood vessels and supports the enzymes involved in nitric oxide production. Exercise is another powerful trigger. When you move your body, blood flow increases and your arteries produce more nitric oxide in response. But there's another fascinating tool that can help your body produce more nitric oxide. And that's where the drink we're about to discuss comes in. Before we talk about the drink, one major root cause. Before we get there though, we need to address one of the biggest drivers of artery damage, and that is excess sugar and refined carbohydrates. Here's something that might surprise you. Your entire bloodstream normally contains only about 1 teaspoon of sugar at any given time. Just 1 teaspoon. But the average person today consumes between 50 and 100 teaspoons of sugar each day when you include refined carbohydrates and starches. So how can someone consume that much sugar while still maintaining normal blood sugar levels? The answer is insulin. Insulin works like a vacuum cleaner, removing sugar from the bloodstream and pushing it into the cells. For many years, this system works remarkably well. But eventually, after years of overwork, the system begins to break down. Cells become resistant to insulin. The pancreas becomes exhausted. Blood sugar begins to rise. And once blood sugar rises, damage to the endothelial layer begins accelerating. That's why low-carbohydrate diets, intermittent fasting, and regular exercise have such powerful effects on heart health. They reduce the stress placed on that entire system. How the body can actually remove plaque. Here's another fascinating piece of the puzzle. Your body actually has a system that can remove cholesterol from artery walls. It's called reverse cholesterol transport. In this process, cholesterol is taken from the arteries and transported back to the liver, where it can be recycled or eliminated. HDL cholesterol plays a major role in this process. Exercise increases it. Fasting increases it. Certain nutrients like niacin can also support it. But for this system to work properly, the arteries themselves need to remain healthy and flexible. And that brings us to the drink that supports healthy arteries. The key ingredient is raw cacao powder, not the heavily processed cocoa powder used in many chocolate products. Raw cacao contains extremely high levels of compounds called flavonols. Flavonols are plant compounds that act as powerful antioxidants and vascular protectors. Research has shown that cacao flavonols stimulate enzymes in the body that increase nitric oxide production. In other words, they help the arteries relax and expand. In one fascinating study, researchers compared the effect of cacao flavonols on blood vessel dilation to moderate exercise. And the results were remarkably similar. Imagine that. A drink that can help stimulate the same nitric oxide pathway triggered by exercise. Of course, it doesn't replace exercise, but it supports the same protective mechanism inside your arteries. The same system that helps your blood vessels stay flexible, responsive, and capable of delivering oxygen throughout the body. And that matters more than most people realize. Because when nitric oxide production is strong, your arteries behave almost like flexible rubber tubes. They expand easily, they allow smooth blood flow, and they adapt quickly when your body needs more oxygen. But when nitric oxide levels drop, those arteries begin to behave more like stiff pipes. Blood pressure rises. Circulation becomes restricted. And the conditions that lead to plaque buildup and clot formation begin to accelerate. So supporting nitric oxide production isn't just a minor benefit. It's one of the most powerful ways to support cardiovascular health at the root level, making the drink even more powerful. To take this drink to another level, you can add beetroot powder. Beets are one of the richest natural sources of nitrates found in food. And inside your body, those nitrates are converted step by step into nitric oxide. So while cacao stimulates the enzymes that produce nitric oxide, beetroot provides the raw building blocks your body needs to generate it. In other words, cacao activates the system, and beets supply the fuel. When you combine these two ingredients, you support nitric oxide production from two completely different pathways. And that synergy is what makes the drink so powerful. But the benefits don't stop with your heart. Improved nitric oxide levels can support the entire vascular system, which means multiple organs benefit at the same time. Research has shown nitric oxide may help support better brain circulation and cognitive clarity, improved skin health due to better microcirculation, greater endurance during exercise, improved oxygen delivery to muscles, healthier blood pressure regulation. In other words, when circulation improves, the entire body performs better. How to prepare the drink. The preparation is surprisingly simple. Start with 1 teaspoon of organic raw cacao powder. It's important to choose raw cacao rather than heavily processed cocoa powder because raw cacao retains far more flavonols. Those flavonols are the compounds responsible for stimulating nitric oxide production. Next, add a small scoop of beetroot powder if you want to enhance the nitric oxide effect. This combination creates a powerful 1-2 punch for circulation support. Then mix the ingredients into warm water. Notice I said warm. not boiling. Excessive heat can damage some of the delicate plant compounds responsible for the vascular benefits. Warm water helps dissolve the powder while preserving the active compounds. You can also add a pinch of sea salt or magnesium powder. Magnesium supports blood vessel relaxation and complements the nitric oxide pathway beautifully. Some people prefer mixing the drink with milk or another beverage to soften the natural bitterness of cacao. And that works perfectly fine. One important tip though, try not to drink it at the exact same time as coffee. Caffeine can temporarily constrict blood vessels, which partially counteracts the vasodilation effect we're trying to achieve. If possible, drink this about 2 hours before coffee or 2 hours after. That allows your body to fully benefit from the nitric oxide boost. The long-term benefits. One of the most fascinating discoveries researchers have made about cacao flavanols is that their effects are cumulative. That means the benefits grow stronger when they are consumed consistently over time. This isn't a one-time quick fix. It's more like gradually training your blood vessels to function better. In several clinical studies, individuals between the ages of 50 and 80 who consumed cacao regularly for just 2 weeks showed measurable improvements in artery flexibility. In some cases, their arterial function resembled that of individuals decades younger. That's extraordinary. It demonstrates something very important about the human body. Even later in life, the cardiovascular system still has the ability to repair itself and become more resilient when given the right nutritional signals. The big picture. But there's something important to remember. No single drink, no matter how powerful, can completely overcome unhealthy lifestyle habits. Supporting healthy arteries requires multiple pillars working together. These include reducing refined sugars and ultra-processed carbohydrates, exercising regularly to stimulate natural nitric oxide production, getting healthy sunlight exposure, supporting nutrient intake like magnesium and vitamin K2, maintaining consistent sleep and recovery. When those foundations are in place, simple nutritional tools like cacao and beetroot can dramatically amplify your body's natural repair systems. And that's really the goal. Not forcing the body to change, but giving it the right signals so it can do what it was designed to do. Protect itself, repair itself, and keep blood flowing smoothly through the arteries for decades. And that's the real goal. Helping the body do what it was designed to do. Protect itself, repair itself, and keep blood flowing smoothly through the arteries for decades. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.